This is the story of the crystal ball. In southern India there was a small beautiful village whose inhabitants were very cheerful. Children of this village played happily under the shades of trees in the gardens of their homes. Most of them comes from a poor family. But everyone is happy. A cowherd boy named Gopal stayed near the village with his father, mother and grandmother. Every morning he led his herd of goats into the hills to find suitable pasture. In the afternoon he would return to the village with them. Every night his grandmother would tell him a story about the stars. This story literally intrigued Gopal. On one such day, as Gopal was watching his flock and playing his flute, he noticed a terrible light behind a bush of flowers. As he approached the bush, he noticed an obvious and very beautiful crystal ball. The crystal ball turned into a twinkle, like a multicolored rainbow. Gopal picked it up carefully and rounded it. Surprised, he heard a receptive voice from the crystal ball. It said, "You can make a wish that your heart desires, and I will grant it." Gopal couldn't accept that he had actually heard the voice. When he was convinced that he had definitely heard that voice from the crystal ball, he was very embarrassed. He had so many needs that he couldn't pin down one specific need. He said to himself, "If I wait until tomorrow, I won't forget much. Then I make my wish." He put the crystal ball in a sack and, after gathering the flock, safely descended to the village. He decided he couldn't tell anyone about the crystal ball. Also, Gopal couldn't determine what he needed tomorrow because he really had everything he needed. The days passed as usual, but Gopal could not fulfill his wish. But he seemed very happy. People around him were surprised to see the sudden changes in his character. One day, one of the boys of his village noticed Gopal and his flock and hid behind a tree. Gopal sat in a corner as usual, took out a crystal ball and examined it for a few moments. The boy waited for Gopal to fall asleep. When Gopal fell asleep after a while, the boy took the crystal ball and ran away. When he arrived in the village, he named all the people and confirmed the crystal ball to them. The residents of this village took a crystal ball from their palm and suddenly became round. Suddenly, they heard a voice from the crystal ball announcing, "I can grant your wish." A man or woman grabbed the ball and yelled, "I need a bag of gold." Another took the ball and loudly declared, "I need chests full of jewels." Some of them wanted to have their own palace with a big natural gold door instead of their old houses. Some others were looking for jeweled luggage. All their desires were fulfilled, but the villagers were still not satisfied. They were jealous that the man who had a palace had no gold and the man who had gold had no palace. Because of this, the villagers got angry about all sorts of things and stopped talking to everyone. In the village there were no more gardens in which the youth played. There were palaces and gold everywhere. The children became terribly unhappy. Only Gopal and his own circle of relatives were happy and satisfied. He could play the flute every morning and afternoon. One day a village boy brought this crystal ball to Gopal. The youth said to Gopal, "When we had a small village, we were all happy and cheerful." Dad and Mom spoke additionally. They said, "Everyone is unhappy in one way or another. Expensive palaces and jewels bring us only pain." Noting that people were sincerely sorry, Gopal said, "Although the crystal ball asked me to want something, I haven't even gotten it yet. But if you really want everything to return it as it was in before to its own place, then I will do something for it." Luckily everyone agreed. Gopal picked up a crystal ball, made it round and wanted the village to grow as it was before. In an instant, palaces disappeared, green gardens with beautiful flowers appeared, and the same old village full of logs appeared. Luckily people started staying again and the kids came out from under the color of the tree. Gopal continued his contented life every day and played his flute at sunrises and sunsets. Its sweet sound echoed through the stunning, inexperienced village. The moral of this story is that we should be happy with everyone whatever we have and not be greedy at all for happiness in our life.